another beautiful day with you, and I'm excited on this episode. So just like we briefly discussed last week about the VDM, the Falz, the Bobrisky and correctional service case that has been going on for the past 1 week or so now, and Falz suing VDM and telling him to retract his defamatory statement, which has been going on with VDM saying that it was not going to retract it, that it was only bringing out evidence on the correctional center and Bobrisky saga that happened while he was in prison, saying that Bobrisky was not in the cell, he was in an apartment throughout his term. So, well, the House of Representatives called the parties involved in order to hear the side of the story. However, Bobrisky didn't show up and his lawyer said he wasn't feeling fine. So today we're going to be talking about the correctional center system as a whole, and then we're going to use Bobrisky case as a case study in order to gain more knowledge about this. And my name is still Olaiton Babatunde, and here with me in the studio I have my amazing lady, my beautiful ever, the vibe queen, and I'm sure she's going to give us the vibe today because it's one case that she's also interested in. Good afternoon, Precious. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great.
I can actually see the vibe in your voice.
I'm actually ready to do. I'm ready. Funny enough, because it's actually absurd that this country, a lot is actually happening in this country, and it's so unfortunate that the House of Representatives only have time to attend to VDM and Bobrisky case
at this time, right?
We never see food shop.
No, but you know that your president also went on vacation, even with
2 weeks vacation. No, 2 weeks vacation. No, like he doesn't even give a fuck. He doesn't care about us at all.
Like it's just summer. He's summer.
Send our papa.
No, it's even how the core members too are expecting too much this month, and he showed up and showed out for us. Anyways, but it's all good.
You don't see us. I never see you.
So on today's episode, we're bringing in a guest that would be talking about the case too. He would be giving on his own quota, his own perspective of the issue, and that is what we do here on Veegilant podcast. It's all about bringing in other perspective from what people are not seeing, or talking about how people feel about a particular thing, and that is what we're doing today. And today in the studio with us, we have a young, vibrant journalist, sport analyst. This guy is really good. When I say someone is good, he's good. And his name is Olamide Awoyefa, also known as The Pundit. Good afternoon, The Pundit. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Lighton. Good afternoon, Precious.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. In fact, with the eye that is giving me as well. So, welcome.
Yeah, it's good to actually have you on the show. So, like I said, we're talking about the issue of the correctional center. We're talking about the Falz and the Bobrisky case, and also the fact that Bobrisky didn't show up at the House of Representatives. What can you say about this insolent act? Because if you would ask me, I feel the country is calling you to hear from you and you did not show up. The best thing I can use to describe what he did is insolence. So it's an insolence act. What can you say about this insolent act?
Well, I think you've summed it all up. When the House of Rep is calling you, whether the House of Rep or Senate, whichever one between them that's calling you, they are representing Nigeria. So to say, that's Nigeria. And when they're calling you to come and answer to a case, they want to hear from you, own perspective. We've seen them call some appointed officials who probably have also been involved at the point in time in handling of funds to come and hear them and talk about it. I think they were in that position to also say they want to hear from Bobrisky, but in not going there with the excuse of him might be genuine. You never can point out whether he's lying or whatever, but then at the end of the day, his lawyer was there to represent him. And that is, for me, it's not entirely wrong, because we've seen cases, especially even some of our politicians hiding away from visiting the chambers, the House of Rep and all of that. As far as he sent a representative, you understand, he's making it clear that he's not disobeying them. He didn't present himself because he said he was sick. That is a genuine reason to the House of Rep. They won't find anything difficult or anything bad in it, as far as there's the proof that he's actually very sick and it's a representative that is worthy enough to be there, which his lawyer in that case was worthy enough, and I think it's okay.
All right. So I think we should just delve into the situation of things like straight up. Now, the case of Bobrisky staying in an apartment while he was in the prison, there was an article that Fisayo Soyombo is a well-known journalist, an investigative journalist, wrote a while back about his experience in the prison. According to the article, he kind of, put himself in trouble and he was jailed. And while he was there, he was talking about 45 people sleeping in the cell, talking about 60 people sleeping in the same room, and talking about the rank, the cadre there. So the people that have been there years before sleep on the bunk. They sleep on the bed. And then the rest that came earlier also sleep on, they sleep comfortably. But then if you're just coming in, about 16 people, 40 people might force themselves, try to sleep on the floor, which is cold, which is not very comfortable. Looking at this situation of things, and we can say probably that is the reason why Bobrisky decided to stay in an apartment, because the place is not conducive enough. Do you think we can blame the government for not properly taking care of the correctional center? Yes, it is a correctional center, but let's not forget that these people are also human beings. They are citizens of the country, and they need to be well taken care of while they're serving their term. The only thing should be the confinement. They don't have their freedom, but not that they shouldn't eat good food. They shouldn't sleep in a good place. What can you say about the government's nonchalant attitude towards the people in the prison?
Well, that just explains the state of our nation. All right. When our correctional center is not supposed to be a pleasant place, but when we are talking about pleasant, how pleasant are we talking about? Not that you should not be able to get enough sleep, not that you should eat food that might even contaminate you, not that you should be or find yourself in a situation that won't even correct you, but instead give you PTSD, right? That's what our own correctional place is not like. And it's a sad situation because you expect, that it should be better by this time. I mean, the people have been complaining about this, about correctional centers for way long, on how, they call it curriculum, on how they look like, on how it's built, on how it's not even, a place where you want to go for excursion. You can't go there and come back as the same person. It will do a lot to you mentally. Psychologically, it's going to have effect on you because you get to see firsthand how human beings are being treated horribly, how they are being placed in a room and how they are not getting enough space in a room that is not as big. Then you see numbers of 40 sleeping in the same place together. Tell me how they want to sleep. Difficult. Then in case of Bobrisky, with that idea in his head, he's not a politician per se to say that there will be some sort of special treatment that he will get. He's a celebrity, so then not regarded as a celeb in whatever form or anything, because that's the reason why he went, because that's the reason he will be jailed. And at the end of the day, when he felt that situation was getting out of hand and he requested for something, I listened to the VN once again, and that VN made me realize the fact that he requested for solution. Reason why he doesn't want to sleep in the cell. What solution can come from it? And I think he said he spoke with Falz, the bad guy, and which his father is a son. And the son gave an option. And I think that option was that there's a pardon. You can get a pardon from the president of Nigeria. And I think it's something most prisoners look out for. But it depends on who you are. A lot of people look for pardon. And that I think at the point in time, pardon was there was a particular conversation about pardon that you might have spent a number of years in prison. Or depend on, if I think for guys who are murderers, they might have spent long of years and were given life imprisonment, at the point in time, and they spent lengthy years. The president might just, in his magnanimous attitude, especially in a day like October 1, you understand, a day like October, just drop a pardon. I mean, we've seen cases like that. So he was looking for pardon. He said the son said there's that one for pardon. And that's where the issue of money came out from. He was looking for solutions. He was looking for a way that he would not do the jail term. Even if I'm going to do the jail term, probably will be reduced. Then I would get a rather comfortable place to stay for that time. That was what he was looking for. And in looking for that, I don't know, with his carelessness, he had a conversation with a friend he wanted to borrow money from, and that one just put it on social media.
Yeah.
That is their life. That is the life they live. Celebrity life. There's no trust. There's always out there to even third person to also be a part of. And I just think from there the thing escalated very quickly and everybody were involved. The problem I had in that particular one was VDM, and where he was particular about fine, fast, and then back. Of course, he said earlier that and already he came back online to talk about it, because in that case of the fan and talking about Bobrisky entitled to a pardon. Not a title per se, but can get a pardon rather.
Yeah, because he's a citizen of the country.
I don't think they've done anything. As a lawyer, for a client whatever a client you are going to take on, you look away the situation and look at, the situation, how you can find solution for it. And I think that was the solution they were looking for. And they've done nothing wrong. But VDM in that particular was gaslighting, was rather saying that they are people, for Stan's example, someone he look up to, how can he get himself in something as long as this? The son was doing a lawyer's job or wherever, because as a lawyer, you look for whatever any client you have, you look for solution for that person. I think that's why they're a lawyer. They defend their case. Whatever you claim they are facing, they defend their case. But then in that video, it carelessly makes some statements and fast, which might be wrong, and I think was wrong. And that was why the family came all out on it. And they realized that actually he said something wrong. That video was enough to hold on to from the family of Parliament to say, yes, we want to take this guy up and we want to see to the end. And I think by now he realized that, and that's why he apologized. But I think regarding the situation, the government should have done better. I think the problem with the government is just the nonchalant attitude of the government. They don't see the correctional center as a place that should get enough attention. I mean, the people that are still struggling to do roads, that are still struggling to do other stuff, social amenities and other stuff that are supposed to be in our day-to-day that we're not supposed to beg for. Now, imagine the attitude they react towards a correctional center where they don't even believe so much in. They've let down all of them. The people in that correctional center, don't forget that they're also Nigerians as well. No matter what, they have failed them as well. It's part of the failure. Because you are sending them to correctional center does not mean you send them to a place where if they come out, they won't see any reason, to say, instead they will live in fear. They will live in fear all their life. I mean, seeing illustrations of other correctional centers in other developed countries. I know Nigeria is developing countries, but then you see situation, we are working to be developed country, and we are supposed to be, if it's copy and paste what they are doing there, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But sadly, Nigeria, as the case would be, we failed ourselves once again.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Olamide, with the look of things, it's actually obvious that such thing has been happening before, and we only got to know about this because the audio record got leaked. Else, we will not be informed. We won't even know about such things has been happening. Because why should a correctional center have a VIP apartment? It doesn't make any sense to me in the first place. Because this just shows the corruption and inequality
that is going on. Because, looking at the situation of things, Fisayo Soyombo, it was after they got to know that he was a journalist that they became less tense with him. According to his article, they were beating him, they were maltreating him, And then even at the point where they got to know that he was a journalist, he got to a point whereby they were trying to rope another thing on him, like to implicate him so that he can stay longer, because he already recorded them while they were in the court. He had a recording that was going to publish them. They seized that from him and all of that, even as a journalist. So now, why should they have this apartment in the first place?
Exactly.
If everybody is going to the prison, why shouldn't everybody stay in the same place?
Exactly.
Fine, we understand. We just acknowledge now that the government is not doing well enough when it comes to the correctional center. It is a correctional center. It is not a place where people should go and come back with PTSD. You are supposed to go there and be remorseful about what you did, what brought you there. Be confined, sure. We went to camp and we were in a regimented area, and we know what that can even with the fact that we had a little bit of freedom, we know how that can impact on you. Talk more of now sleeping in a place that is cold. The floor is not even good. About 40 people are sharing one toilet. Why should they have an apartment in the first place?
Even the VIP apartments that they even have, say when somebody go there and feel so comfortable, when they come out of the correctional center,
they can't be remorseful. Now look at Bobrisky. Do you even think that guy
the
thing is, even before he came out, I was saying something about I'm looking forward to how Bobrisky will be when he come out, because I was expecting a guy that is a changed person, someone that is not flaunting his wealth anymore. And then someone told me that he went to that prison and coming back, that guy is going to come back and give us back to back, and he did.
But funny enough, when he actually went, that the period that they were saying, like, they didn't even know where to put him, they didn't know whether he's a female, like she or she. Yes, I was actually thinking that when he comes out, probably his brain would have reset and he might decide that, okay, I'm really a guy, let me just be a guy.
No, but he has a breast. He really does have a breast.
The same way he actually put it, we go and remove it now.
All right, so Mr. Olamide, why do you think there should be an apartment in the first place?
Well, first off, I would love to be realistic because we're in Nigeria, right? Being realistic is one of the first things we should do. You remember that in this part of the world, where in Nigeria, there's a belief that we are two people, all fingers are not equal, and the fact that, all of us, we are just human beings, but we have grade, level, and class at the end of the day. I think that situation, as it applies in life, it also applies in our correctional center, sadly. And that's why if you're buoyant enough, if you are, filled in the pocket enough, you have some sort of advantage over a guy who is just ordinary citizen who committed an offense and find himself in a prison or a jail, wherever the case could be. And in that situation, you have the financial strength to pay, to settle. I mean, look at the World Television, to pay to to settle, to compromise with some certain set of people. You understand? With some certain set of people. And that's where the word we've always used when it comes to this country, corruption comes in. We are so corrupt in the country that we have failed every single person in every single position. Our judiciary, they are failing. Every single one of them, executives, they are failing. They are forgetting that they serve the country. They are thinking about human. They are serving human beings already. Because in that situation, you already create a VIP section. I understand that, for example, you can't probably jail a former president in a normal prison. You know that will probably happen. There should be a difference in that one, and that's why they call it level class at the end of the day. Because a former president can never be your level anymore. He's already a former president. He's already like a former. Though he might not have immunity per se, but then there's something to hold on to the fact that he's a former president. And I think they have office of former president in Nigeria. You can't just take that away from them. They still have some sort of right.
Immunity. They enjoy some immunity too.
Yeah, exactly. You can't take that person to a prison. That you have to be realistic. You can't take that person. Same applies to some celebrities. Celebrities who probably have the finance to say, yeah, I don't want to go to the jail that you are going to. And that's where their money comes in from. That's where that fame. Same money. It's not even by fame alone, because match and only by fame alone. That's where their money, their money comes from. And in the case of Bobrisky, we saw firsthand. Luckily, revelation came from his case. We've always had the idea that if you're a celebrity, you will probably go to prison and be in the same room with a prisoner. Almost of us have always had the idea, but we've not have a solid evidence to back our claim. I think Bobrisky has made that possible. A case study, he has made that possible. He has made that possible. A case study, where we can lay our hands on and say, have you seen the case of Bobrisky? He was, in prison, but he was in the VIP because he paid. We can make that as a case study, and which is good. I love that, because me personally, I have the belief that most of the celebrity or some certain set of people that are sent to those prisons don't do the prison, they don't do the term, in the condition that the judge have announced them to be. They say in that boy, blah blah. They don't get to do that. Most of them don't get to face the hard labor eventually. I've seen a case of prisoners actually going through the hard labor. Besides but I went to can explain better because he was there. But I've seen of prisoners like the chronic ones, what they put them through, they shame them, they shame them, and they allow them. They do a lot of work. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But then I know that they were doing it. That they did and they do it. So that kind of job, you don't expect, sadly, in this country, all celebs or a celeb that are convicted for a crime and all of that, to say he wants to go through that kind of stuff. There will be a compromise.
We need to work on that.
Like it has it.
Seriously.
I
feel, but with what you just said, I still feel like it is wrong.
Yeah, unfair.
It's unfair on people because we are all citizens of Nigeria, and then the constitution did not say that. The law did not say that the law is for the poor alone. Although we know it's a thing that it's obvious now that the Nigerians had accepted that it is only the poor that are under the law. The rich are not under the law, which is actually wrong. We're preaching democracy, we are preaching free and fair rule, but however, people in government are still using their power in the wrong way. We talked about this EFCC and Yaya Bello case. Now, it is a case of the EFCC nabbing Yaya Bello for embezzlement, for corruption. And yet, Yaya Bello and the governor of the state sued them for allegedly that they were threatening their life. They wanted to kill them. Now, the case of the corruption is there. They didn't face that. The government, the lawmakers are not saying anything in regards to the embezzlement. They're not saying anything in regards to the corruption. But
if it was a Yahoo boy now,
they will not let them rest. But then when it comes to the people in government, they allow them get away with everything, which is wrong. So what law can we say we are really practicing in Nigeria? Thank you very much for your answers. And I would like to also know, in this case, we've gotten over the fact that, okay, Bobrisky was in the apartment while he was in prison. He was just enjoying himself. Man just went there to flex, and VDM bringing out the recording. And like you said earlier, he actually sabotaged the Falana family, which is wrong. And like I've always said, he could have played the voice note and not make any statement. Let people determine what they want to see from that voice note. Saying something about Falz also having a relationship.
He's an activist. And
exactly. And he's still involved in something like that. And I've always said it too, that a lawyer will continue to be a lawyer. Even if the criminal killed your father, if that criminal says, I want you to be my lawyer, you will still go to court and represent him and try to even win the case for him. So for the Falanas, I just feel like VDM should have just understand that a lawyer, an activist would always be no matter the circumstances, they would still want to do their profession. But then now we understand the role of the lawyer. We understand why Falana was in the case. We understand that Very Dark Man is trying to be an activist, and that is why he brought the voice note out. We also understand, like you said, that the celebrities would definitely pay their way to have comfort in the correctional center. But in all of this, what is the responsibility of the House of Rep? Why are they involved? Now, let's look at the situation of things in the country. People are crying. People are hungry. There's a protest that started yesterday again. They're crying each and every day. The cost of things, high inflation rates, the price of petroleum outside there is eating the roof. People are going through a lot.
The president has left the country.
The president... In all of these pains that Nigerians are going through, the president is outside the country for his vacation. Well, we wouldn't say it is wrong for the president to enjoy his vacation for all the work he's been doing, for all the pains we've been, going through. Now? But then, what is the role of the House of Rep in all of this? Why is it their concern? Why are they prioritizing something that can just be handled, by the EFCC, that can be handled by just one person in the House of Rep? Like, let's just stop this thing and let's focus on the real deal. Let's focus on the pains of Nigeria. Why did they prioritize this?
Yes, like we want to know if the responsibility of the House of Representatives is to handle
cases like
disputes.
This. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, initially, myself, I had my reservations because I felt shouldn't be a priority, shouldn't be a concern of the House of Representatives. But then when you look at that case, it goes beyond VDM, Bobrisky, and Falana. It also gets involved some sectors in Nigeria, especially that involve Nigeria government, the correctional center, some of our enforcement that are involved in it. If you look at the people that were called upon, not just VDM, Bobrisky alone, some major key players in the correctional centers were called upon. I've forgotten the name of the man that was called upon that was talking about when they asked VDM, I think he was talking about that he's mixed and they didn't want to mix him with the boys, the male cells. I forgot the name of that. But then that man is actually a key member of, one of the correctional center in Nigeria. Don't forget that I think a day before or 2 days before, already the minister have already, suspended some officials. Already in action. One of our ministers already suspended some officials. So it was already getting to a case of national. No matter how you want to take it, it's a mixture of both. And the House of Representatives is part of their, job to also look at situation. They are not Senate. The Senate has, bigger roles. They are representatives. They can look cases like that, especially doing with Nigeria Correctional Center. They want to see and get in between, they see to the end, what actually happened. They might have their observations and what they want to say to it, but then they represent Nigeria. If in that case, myself and you might not be able to question Bobrisky on VDM, you understand? They are standing up at that situation as our lawmakers to see that some people have breached the law, and those who breach the law are also people who are supposed to be key players in Nigeria, because the National Correctional Center, they are key players in Nigeria. They undo the people who have violated the rules and regulations to go and receive correction. Now you violated them. Those people are also key players and key officials in Nigeria. Those people were questioned as well. In that situation, they've done no bad or no wrong. Might sound wrong at this time of what the country is facing. Maybe because the fact that VDM and Bobrisky were the headline of the whole situation. That's why a lot of people are putting a lot of attention on them. But then they didn't call VDM and Bobrisky alone. They also called those other guys, the people who were involved, to come and answer questions to their sector. What actually went wrong? Who didn't collect money? We need evidence from you that you didn't collect money. Okay, you guys said you have VIP. Why do you have VIP? All of these were questions. And I think it's sad that we didn't pay attention to all of those things as well. It would have helped or shaped a better perception and understanding of the situation. Because I know that they were questioned. I know that they asked them questions. And I know that Rama was talking about things that I felt he was wrong. Talking about the fact that Bobrisky cannot be said as a man or a woman. You understand? So that is why they cannot put him with the male, male prison. Because if they put him in male prison, those people are violent. They might Rofadu in. In my case, I don't think homosexual is legal in the country.
It's not.
I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think just yet it is. Already, what that officer is saying is that already accepting the fact that homosexual is a thing in the country. In his position, shouldn't be. But sadly, he was accepting. I think the House of Representatives should question him even further. But I think they didn't really put a lot of pressure on him. They just allow him to talk and they allow him. But that is a man who, in his case, he is an officer of the law in the country, saying that. That's the situation. That's why I feel like a lot of questions should have been asked by the House of Representatives. If you are doing investigation, don't do it for the showbiz of it. Do it for the genuinity and the fact that this case is actually different. We've never seen, I don't think we've seen, I don't know, we've never seen a case where a celebrity is exposed to this level.
Yeah,
and even our correction is exposed to this level. We've never seen. This opportunity for you stand as you are standing for us. You claim you are standing for us. This opportunity to stand for us in that situation and make good use of that opportunity. But I think the House of Representatives, I mean, assuming it's the Senate that are sitting and calling this, I'll be disappointed. I'll be heavily disappointed. But the House of Representatives, this is part of their look into, especially the correctional sector has been a part as well. And what they are trying to say is that our correctional center is being compromised and they need to find solutions to it. But then I knew that a minister, I don't know, I've forgotten his office now. Okay, I think the Minister of Interior, I think it was the one who suspended some officers already. And I think, it goes beyond that. They wanted investigation. They said they are still doing it, they are investigating. So after investigation, hopefully, integrity will, beg and cry into their ears and they will see the reason to ensure that the same way they've carried all Nigerians along with suspension in news, with House of Rep, they carry us along with the aftermath of the drama.
Looking at the case, while VDM was with the House of Rep, there seems to be an attack from the House of Rep towards him. I won't overlook the fact that there was this pride with, ego with VDM. He had this, okay, I'm not here, I'm not bowing for anybody here. I know how, Nigerians, we take respect in high esteem. And when we sense that someone is trying to disrespect us, most times the way we react and we retaliate is not always so pleasing. So I could see in the video that there was this ego, there was this with VDM. But then I would not also overlook the fact that the House of Rep were really attacking him. Would you say from the citizen perspective that the House of Rep are playing some sort of games, like they are trying to be against him so that they can cover up their track?
When it comes to the House of Rep, you've mentioned the fact that respect is also a key part. And I also watched the videos that were released regarding VDM. In fact, he went there with Rep Saga or something.
Yeah.
And
he did. He went with a part. Actually, VDM is my brother, and as I yesterday, I said I was going to start supporting him. He's from my state, He carried a part along in case they want to, all those they want to knock him something.
In case we want to do juju
yes,
to him.
A part will defend him.
Because I saw that that was funny to me. And he went there with drama. And I think he needed that. I truly needed that on a personal level. I mean, you cannot go to House of Rep because that is their job, to bully you, to question you, put you on spot heavily, to make you fall, to make you, that's what they do. I mean, if you perchance see some of our politicians say, anytime they are called by the House of Rep, that's what they do to you. If they are lenient with you, you enjoy. You just go there to go and talk and speak English. Oh no. They want to make sure that you say things. And he went there without understanding and his lawyer. And probably he overdo, maybe. But at the end of the day, the job of House of Rep is that they question you to the point where you are suffocated. And that's what they wanted to do to him. They wanted to question him. And I think at the point in time, he said he wasn't going to talk. If Bobrisky is not there, it was a little bit on the stand. But then overstepping and overdoing it. And you know that we have, House of Rep members who certainly will be surprised at the fact that there's someone who is trying to be this way. But then I'm sure they are aware of our new age or the youth that we have nowadays. Our youth, all of us, we are fighting for better Nigeria, and it means that whatever we give you, sometimes you have to take. Yes. I mean, it takes our level of youth to be out there during EDSA, to be, some of them are still outside, October 1 protest and all of that. That's the kind of youth that we have outside now. You're not talking, they themselves, they are aware that they're not talking to their fellow politicians. They're not talking to, a fellow man or a fellow age mate of their level, who probably will be reasonable and be calming down with them. They're talking to a social media, now new age activist in VDM, who has everything in his power to understand that at this point, I want to be there to talk. This is the opportunity for me to also announce myself to this part of the world. He has announced himself to us, we social media guys. They call us the social media people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he has announced himself to the social media guys. There was an opportunity for him to announce himself to them, the people who are in charge of the country, the people who claim they owns the country, who decides the fate of the country. That was opportunity for him. And I like the fact that he did brilliantly. That was just, you can't go to that place and bow to them. You can't go to that place. Normally they will ask you to bow to them and all of that. That's just their normal decision. You will do that. But you can't, I'm talking about literally now in respecting them too much, then losing, a touch on whatever it is you want to go there to say, then becoming more like their pet. He went there as someone with his own mind and make them understand that I have my mind. I want to speak my mind. And he did that. Fair enough to him. I don't care about whatever retaliation that is coming from them. What can they basically do to him anymore? He has apologized to Falano. I don't know if Falano has accepted his apology yet, but I know he has apologized. And and I think that's the person he holds a lot of apology. The person that can take him to court the following morning, and because he actually offended that person.
Yeah. Speaking of taking him to court, I don't know how true it is. I was talking to Olaiton last night, and I think I mentioned that someone called me saying that he ran into Falz in court.
I feel like there's this thing with VDM. All you have to do is apologize. We can't really say that was an apology, because Falz said, go on the social media, the same platform in which you defame me, the same platform in which and retract your derogatory statement.
And it's actually
now you are now in the House of Rep saying that, Falano, you are sorry for what you did. Then you, after leaving the House of Rep, you posted on your social media that Falz, you think Falz should drop the case and let you fight the battle together. That is not an apology at all, in the actual sense. Only thing Falz wants is accept that you are wrong. Accept that you actually paint me bad to these people.
Like, be responsible for your action.
I'm a celebrity. Even before you became known, I was known. I'm not just known in Nigeria, my guy. I'm known all over the world. He's known in the US, he's known in the UK. This guy is known almost everywhere. And then you go on the social media, that we know that anything on the social media is all over the world. Everybody has access to it. And the social media, one thing the social media does not do is forget stuff. Social media does not forget.
Somebody will still dig up
Tomorrow, someone will still bring it up. This guy will definitely have a family one day. This will only take an understanding girlfriend, a girlfriend that actually knows about that case, to understand that this actually is wrong. So what I want from you is, go out there, tell the public, okay, what I said about this person
is wrong. I don't take him anything.
That was all. That was what he needed. But for me, in my own perspective, VDM has not apologized
at all.
He's doing the right thing by trying to make sure that things are right in the correctional center, but bringing the Falano in, and after getting to know that, okay, I am wrong, the best thing he could have done is apologize. So to me, he hasn't apologized.
So Mr. Olamide, do you think that the attention given to this VDM and Bobrisky case will distract or downplay more serious investigation into corruption within government institutions?
Yeah, I think looking at this case, the government should also make use of this case to, in other corruptions that are happening, if they can put in this energy into this Bobrisky case, we can only hope for them putting more energy into other cases. So do you think with this case that came out, and we are seeing a celebrity being backlashed, we are seeing a celebrity, they are literally going down, and the House of Rep is out there also, like you said, that it is one of the responsibilities to make sure stuff like that are right. Is this like a green flag? Is this case, is it like a hope that sometimes in the future, if anything happens to people in power, people that are rich, they would also take actions like this?
Like taking the EFCC and
Yaya Bello case, for example. With this case we are looking at, does this mean that the House of Rep will also call Yaya Bello and the EFCC to also come and say their own side of the story? Can we say this is a limelight into a better future for Nigerians?
I'm not going to say that with you. I think, I'm not going to say that with you. When we come to this court, we've always had a case of being selective with our, persecutions and who we want to, look at. For a case of Emefiele, for example, he's getting all the black classes, all the whatever in this world. That man is going through a lot. Even though what he did to is definitely, a lot of that. But then that we definitely know that there are more people in this country who have also committed as much wrong as they are. They're not getting the same, probably probably the same pain he's getting, the same fire he's getting. Same applies to Bobrisky. We've seen people who have done work that what he did, that didn't get the same attention as he's getting. But then all of them, they fall into the case of scapegoat. You understand? They fall into the category of scapegoat. In that case, if you are looking for a better or a green light into a better, way of handling corruption, why not make it all? Why make it one per air in a situation? It should be if you violate this law, if you people claim that, okay, what Bobrisky did is violating the law, are you trying to tell me that since then people haven't violated the same law, or before him people haven't violated the same law? Or in the case of corruption, we've not seen people in government who have misused, taking public funds in different ways. Have you persecuted them the same way you are doing for the likes of Emefiele and all of that? We are still talking about the just yet. The way he's struggling with EFCC and making EFCC look like they are not as powerful as they should be.
Yeah,
they've not been able to pick him all this while. I think the way judgment and the way who to persecute is being selected. I feel like it is the setup of the system. The corrupt system. If you are going to make this law an offense, make it a strict one that every single body, equality before the law is what they say. Not one per air before the law. Not that this person is doing this. Okay, this is the person you want to pick up. This is the person that should pick it. Every single body. If you violate it, let that be a law that you should violate it. It should not be something. The country. I think I saw one joke online. I've forgotten the comedian that was that I did that joke, and I realized that it's actually a thing in the country. I forgot the joke was about the zebra crossing. And I don't know if you've come across it. The zebra crossing. The guy was talking about how a lot of drivers don't pay attention to that fact that there's something like called zebra crossing, and we taught zebra crossing in primary school. So what is the effect of zebra crossing now? That a lot of people don't know the punishment of zebra crossing. Even the people of the law, the police on the road, they don't know when you violate zebra crossing. They know sometimes if they say, let me collect money from this person, that's when they have. A lot of people go. The country where we have to ensure that we generalize how law is being effective to select it. There's no way that stigma thing. I don't like stigma thing. I don't find it because the truth is it's selection. So if you are hoping that this kid will open doors for more, my sister, it's just a joke. There's no way it's going to happen because it's a trend in the country that allows us to. It's a trend in the country that we've seen over time that they've allowed to, and they are still doing so. Until we are in a country where when you do wrong, especially for who you are, you get punished. The same way you punish Charlie, not punish the other.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Olamide. And to wrap up this whole issue of in conclusion, with this situation of things that is happening, and with how the general public has received this investigation by the House of Rep, and it's been gaining attention. It definitely has been distracting us from the necessary things. But then I would like to know, just let our listener also know this, do you think this case would have been handled differently if it didn't involve high profile individuals like Bobrisky or Falz? And looking at this, if you're saying that it would not have happened if it were to happen to an ordinary citizen of the country, don't you think there's a preferential treatment for celebrities? Celebrities are also human beings, because when Nigerians bully celebrities, I'm not in support of bullying, but when ordinary people bully celebrities, they all come out to say we are humans like you.
Maybe there is celebrity and there is celebrity. Okay.
So when ordinary people come out to backlash the celebrities, there's this thing that the celebrities will come up with, that we are also individuals like you, we have emotions like you. But then when it comes to cases like this, they are not ordinary people like us.
Yes,
they are different. They are special people. So do you think that if this case did not involve Falz, say involve Bobrisky, it would have been handled differently? And I'm sure that you would say yes to this. But then if you're saying yes to this, what can you say about the preferential treatment for these people?
That's why they are called celebrities.
Okay.
Anyways, that's why they are being called celebrities. And there's no way, you can take that away from them. For me, for example, if I'm to be the one in the shoes of, Bobrisky, probably to get known among my other journalists, my other sport journalists, so we figure out that, something's happening. But for the case of Bobrisky or probably any other person of Falz or VDM who their business is always on social media, so they have large followers, they have millions of followers, some of them have millions of followers, and their case, no matter however you want to put it, it will surely be out there. When you hear the name, Bobrisky, Queen of Lagos, or as they used to call her, or call it.
Mommy of Lagos.
Mommy of Lagos.
Yeah.
When it's case in that situation, you'll be like, you are interested in it. And that's why, the public definitely see that as, that. Even though they also hear sentiments that you mentioned that, when it's not something, when they are getting backfire from fans, they say they are human beings, all of that. It's just, normal sentiment and normal emotional card that they play. But you cannot take that away from them that they are also human beings. And they are also celebrities. That status that they have has given them some sort of, more advantage.
Okay.
To say, even in Western world, in not Nigeria, in abroad, there's a case that's currently going on. The man Didi, Didi, the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way his own case is getting, that like attention is different from the way another normal person will get, because that's why they're celebrities. You have to give them the fact that, you're a celebrity. It comes with that. Your business is always in the world. Except very few of them who do their business in very few, very few amongst them, their business in the world. Because your business, is something about. In fact, even the law officials want, because you're a celebrity, they want to put it out there with you. They want to use that leverage. They want to use it in their own, system. Because if they post you, a lot of people will bombard it. If they do this, a lot of people will, some of your fans will bombard it. Their enemies will bombard it. Some people just want to be there for whatever reason to bombard it. I mean, it comes with celebrity, and that's why, sometimes they get, attention. It doesn't mean, that's aligning nobody. I don't really like it. I think it's the name. I don't think it's because they're celebs. They're not celebs. They're just, that's the reason why we don't subscribe to scream on and all of that.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you for joining us on the show today, and for enlightening us and talking from your perspective and also other people's perspective, because it's more like you're representing the whole Nigerians today.
The voice of the masses.
You're the voice of the masses today. Thank you so much, Olamide, for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. And that will be all on today's episode. But then before we go, I want to say a big shout out to Precious, my lovely lady. Thank you for joining me on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I'm sure you really enjoyed this episode.
Oh, yeah, I did. You actually spoke my mind.
And I'm sure that our listener out there too would also enjoy this episode, because I also did. I had fun on this episode. And on to the next. Do have a wonderful weekend.